It's Chris Angel coming at you for another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. How are you? How are you doing? I want to talk to you tonight about an interview I had and not only the insights I saw for myself in my life, but some interesting truths and principles it pointed to, not only for me, but also I think the human condition and for you in your own business and marketing. So today we are interviewing somebody who has a holistic store, if you want to call it that. They have holistic products in their store so that you have an alternative to the cleaning products that you buy that are full of chemicals, or even some of the supplements you buy that are full of chemicals, et cetera, et cetera. Now, this person in the podcast, they were sharing their own story of how they were very sick 10, 11 years ago. And then through the process of educating themselves about all the things, right? The chemicals, the things that were in their food, that were in their household products. She started to make some serious life changes because it was that dire. Like they were at a spot where they really needed to move into making changes, right? Funny, by the way, how it sometimes takes dire situations to make the commitment to change. I wish it wasn't that way. And sometimes that's what is super motivating. So in the process of having this conversation, all I could think about during this interview was, in the back of my head, all I could think about was how many drawers in my house, how many cupboards in my house, how many closets in my house have products that have chemicals I'm not even sure what's in there because I didn't look for chemicals. Nor would I, even if I had read labels, and I do read labels for food, but I don't really read labels for cleaning products. If I had read labels, I'm not even sure what I would have been reading. And the idea of researching every word on a label is overwhelming to me. So that being said, I also get that these chemicals probably could affect my health, right? Okay, so here's where we get paralyzed. Let me say it this way. First, if you can get honest about that, some people are like, oh, that doesn't matter, labels, blah, blah, blah. She's just, way off on the deep end about how, particular she is about. These are kind of the things we can do when we don't want to get honest about what's in our pantry, what's in our closet, or like what is or isn't in our marketing, right? There are all sorts of ways we can deflect to not have to look at the inconvenience it would be to our life to make a change. So that's the first thing, is like getting really honest that there are probably a lot of things in my fridge, in my pantry, in my closets, in my drawers that I could be making changes with, right? That would be healthier, better for me. And so I was taking an honest look at that today, and I'm like, holy crap, I'm overwhelmed by the project called Let's Go Read Every Label and like figure out what is good and not good in my house. So in that space, I concluded the interview. It was a great interview, felt very informed, went about my day and continued to snack on things that I'm sure were not the best for me. So what is that, right? What is that behavior? When you take a look at something honestly and you see like, oh, that's probably not good, you then get overwhelmed so much so that you're like, screw it. And then you go into the rest of your day as if you'd never heard that truth in the first place. We do this in marketing all the time. We do this in business all the time. We do this in health, obviously, all the time. But look, you can start to take an honest, if you're in business for yourself, most businesses struggle financially. And when we struggle financially, we look for solutions. But when we get honest about why we're really stuck, see what happens for most of the time in people's businesses is they distract themselves and deflect their attention. Rather than getting honest, what they do is they go look for tools, tricks, hacks, tips, blog posts, more information. And for the purpose of not having to take an honest look at and making actual change for what their business needs. They, like I today, go about their business as if they never heard the truth. They continue to repeat the cycle. Now, you know what's interesting? We'll see, I doubt, but we'll see this lady today. I had said in the interview, like, wow, this is very fascinating, very good conversation. I'm very interested. My prediction, by the way, she's a business person. My prediction is that she will not follow up with me after that interview and ask me if I'd like to and invite me to come check out her store. That's my prediction. We'll see, right? But isn't it interesting that all around us, people will give you signs that they're interested and curious, and yet you don't follow up with them? We'll see. We'll see. I think she's a perfect person to go through my Groundswell Method intensive program because she has a mission to her work. She doesn't want to just sell a product. She has a mission to educate people about what's in their home. So I will reach out to her, but we'll see if she reaches out to me first. Anyway, here's my point. In business, we have an opportunity every day to get very honest about where we're stuck and what's not working in our business. And for most businesses, that is, it is absolutely in the space of lead generation and marketing. Most people do not have enough leads to meet or exceed their financial goals. That, friends, is a marketing conversation. And if they were to take an honest look at what's needed in their business for marketing, for example, this show is a great example of that. You can listen through these episodes and you can start to, I intentionally, episode after episode, press in on where you might be stuck so that you could actually get access to an honest look at the excuses you keep making for yourself. And it brings you to a moment of decision, like, am I going to stay stuck here? Or am I going to continue to tune into Chris's podcast and keep listening for where I'm stuck, only to not make any decisions or choices or changes? So once you get honest with yourself, you have a choice. And I'm not saying that you won't be overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed today to the point where I didn't know what to do. And you in marketing might also be overwhelmed by all the different things you could do in marketing and all the different advice you've received over the years. I get that. And what's different about me and you versus the conversation I had today is I'm actually inviting you into a solution. I'm actually inviting you into a process that demystifies and makes it approachable so that you can actually make change in your marketing. Today, I was just given a bunch of information and overwhelmed. Most of you, when you're looking for marketing advice, get a bunch of information and get overwhelmed, and nobody invites you into a process to make a change. I'm actually, every episode of this show, I invite you to my process to make a change. It is very simple, right? 6 weeks with me, 2 hours of training a week for 6 weeks, and I make it very simple, very authentic to you, very congruent to you. I'm not asking you to do anything that you're not. I'm not asking you to make cold calls. I'm not asking you to pester your friends and family. I'm not asking you to do anything you're not. I'm making it very simple and approachable so that you can actually make change. It would be like the lady we talked to today coming to my house and actually sitting down with me and walking through my pantry and my drawers and the different things in my fridge and giving me perspective and advice about what to do and what not to do based on my preferences. You have preferences in business. You have certain ways you want to do business and certain ways you don't want to do business. And I'm here to sit down with you and say, let's look at who you are and what you're up to in the world and in business, and let's make some changes so that you don't have to be sick financially in your business. You can actually thrive. So if you would like help demystifying marketing, I'm actually inviting you to make change. I'm actually inviting you to sit down with me virtually and make some changes so that you don't have to do this by yourself. By the way, some of you I know are diehard DIYers, right? Like you're like, I will go read every blog post on the planet to figure this out myself. And some of that is because you've been hurt and wounded by other people who took advantage of you. So some of this is a self-preservation thing. Like, I don't trust anybody. I'm not going to hire you. I'm not going to work with you. I'll do it myself. Okay. Okay. And so what we do is you collect ideas and then you get overwhelmed. And in the overwhelm, you get confused because you've collected too many ideas and then you just don't know where to start. And I'm inviting you to work with me through my 6-week program called the Groundswell Method Intensive, and I will help you. I will help you, right? I will help you in marketing, and I will honor who you are. Okay. I'm a very safe space for people because I too have been wounded and taken advantage of in the world of business and marketing, not to mention other areas of life. And so I'm very sensitive to people feeling safe in the space of their business, their dreams, their goals, and their strengths, right? You know, one of the pieces of advice I always hated was, I get it, but I hated the advice of get out of your comfort zone. Oh, just get out of your comfort zone. Now, I get it. I understand that growth happens beyond where you're living now and the patterns you currently have. I feel like where people, but I think people started to use that saying of getting out of your comfort zone to manipulate action in others. So they'd be like, hey, listen, you just need to make some cold calls. You need to get out of your comfort zone and just make some cold calls. And I never liked that. Now, I did it because I was a team player, but then afterwards I regretted it, right? I think some people in marketing have asked you to do things you didn't want to do, and you, being a team player, did them anyway because you're like, well, who am I to say no? Like, maybe I don't know. And so you did those things, and then afterwards you regretted it. And then you're like, see, all these people taking advantage of me and manipulating me so that they can get me to do the things they want to do, like puppets with on strings. I hate that. I hate that. So like when people use, just get out of your comfort zone, I think a lot of times they're using that in a manipulative way to try to make me do something that is not in my best interest. So again, it's really important to me that there is a safe space for people to move through the conversation of marketing, because marketing is critical to you making the difference you want to make in the world. It is the platform, the way in which you get your message out in a very leveraged way. You can't do enough coffee appointments to make the kind of difference you want to make in the world. Marketing gives you that leverage, but you need to do it in a way that feels congruent and safe to you. And when you go into marketing as a do-it-yourselfer, hellbound to figure it out yourself because you don't trust anybody, you are going to overwhelm yourself to the point of paralyzing yourself. You will have consumed too much information and you won't know what to pick. They all sound good, or maybe they sound bad. I don't know. And then you just won't do anything. And then listen to me. I know this because I've done it. You will look back 3 years from now, 5 years from now, and you will kick yourself for not having taken action sooner. Your fastest path to the results you're looking for are on the heels of someone else, drafting on someone else who has been there before you. Standing on the shoulders of giants, right? Standing on the shoulders of those who have gone before you. Stop trying to do it all yourself and ask for help. Now, here's my invitation. If you'd like that help, I have a program. It's a 6-week program designed to help you find marketing in a way that fits for you, that honors who you are, it honors your strengths, it honors your message. And you can learn more about that at groundswellmethod.com. There are some videos there. You'll watch the videos, and on the last page of those videos is an application for the 6-week program, okay? That 6-week program is a small group of people going through it together with me, okay? And you get 2 coaching calls with me one-on-one. So there's actually you and I getting to work through what you specifically are wanting to do in the world, and how do we start to frame the conversation that you really want to have? How do we help you get clear about that? Okay? So go to groundswellmethod.com, watch the free videos, and on the last page of those videos is an application. Okay, you fill out the application and it comes to me. The next 6-week program starts March 2nd at the time of this recording, okay, which is just around the corner. So there's time to get in, fill out the application, it comes to me. Thanks for hanging out with me here tonight, gang. This is a very sacred conversation for me. You and your message and your important work in the world, having legs, having momentum, that is what marketing is for, and that is a sacred conversation. So thank you for spending time with me here tonight to talk about that. And until tomorrow, when we go live again, here's to you not getting overwhelmed by all that you have consumed. See you tomorrow.